inclusive. You know, we are international. So we have to make sure we embrace all publishers from all over the world that really share the value of publishing, you know, and share the same values of IPA and protection of copyright and freedom to publish. And today I'm really happy to be here to listen to you, to exchange ideas about how we can support publishing in Ghana and in Africa and also around the world. And I like to think of 2020 as the year of diagnosis. So what is 2021 then? I like to call it the year of the fresh start. So this is why we're here today, to bring us all close together and share experiences, learn from each other, and see what works in our own markets. As you know, the Africa Publishing Innovation Fund was created in partnership with Dubai Cares, keeping kids in school systems, supporting publishers, teachers, and librarians to shift online, and uniting communities through libraries. So once again, I thank you so much for your time. I thank you so much for your attention. I'm all ears. I look forward to listening to all of your ideas and to hear your suggestions, and really to take them back to IPA to see how we can incorporate them in our plans.
So I guess the main thing that propelled Akoss to start was our desire to find, support, train, mentor authors across different African countries and help to make their books available to readers everywhere around the world. Great books and great writing isn't only a result of talent, it's really a result of a great deal of hard work. So if we're really willing to put in that training, that mentoring, that elbow grease into supporting African authors, there's no reason why authors for young readers can't be read everywhere in the world.
Ghana publishing industry was gravely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. We had to suspend sales of books, and in fact, all publishing activities were grounded. The reason being that there was a total lockdown of the country, and all schools in the country were closed for 1 year. And that meant that we were not able to sell, we were not able to do the serious activities of writing new books and all others. Meanwhile, there was a new curriculum that had been developed in 2019, which publishers were expected to write textbooks on. That also had to be delayed because of the COVID. And we are now beginning to have them assessed and, of course, being printed and sold in the schools. Therefore, publishers had a huge stock of books that were unsold. And today, it's also affecting us on the bank balances and of course, the financial outlook of the publishing houses. We are now beginning to realize the gradual activation of publishing, and therefore schools now having been opened, we are going to the schools, seeing how we can sell our books to them. To an extent, we believe that we are yet to see the support that government has given to the publishing industry. Over the years, because of the flurry of book activities that we do, we were not so much dependent on government funding, because we sell the books and we had enough money to go ahead. But in the pandemic, where we had this unsold stock, debt, rising debt by way of paying printers and other industry professionals that we hire, we are yet to see the realization of any intervention by government. Even though we've written series of memoranda to the government to intervene by way of funding and tax waivers and also creating some enabling environment for us, we are yet to see a response to that. But we are hopeful that in the near future we'll be able to see some government support that will also help us to take care of the outstanding debt that we owe. The International Publishers Association, IPA, is an important partner in the global book industry. Ghanaian publishers have been part of the IPA system, but for a brief period where our membership was suspended. We have always been, since 1975, when we joined, we formed the association. One way or the other, we have been part of the IPA system. It is an important player in the global book industry. We are able to network with a lot of global publishers, key global publishers from Europe, the Americas, the Asias, and also the Middle Eastern area. It's so much so that we are able to have this communication and also publishing agreements and in terms of language translations and all that. So it is a key player helping us facilitating the consensus building amongst global publishing industry, helping African publishers in particular to be able to reach out to the European and the global world out there. IPA is very key. It is an important partner. Therefore, we believe that joining IPA, having an interaction with IPA, should be able to give Africa a leverage in global publishing. It is an important occasion. We have always been wishing to have some formal discussions with the current president upon assumption of office. Even though we've met in other fora, and we believe that this is an opportunity, even though briefly, we think that it's an opportunity for us to touch base with what is outstanding. Therefore, the Publishers Association today will use the limited time to highlight what we believe should be the future of the relationship between GPA and IPA. We are going to let her know, and we believe that with her support and enthusiasm, it is possible that we'll be able to come to some understanding which will move us into the future relationship that we all aspire to see. So we welcome her to Accra, Ghana, and we believe that whatever discussion we have, it's going to translate into a mutually beneficial relationship between the International Publishers Association and the Ghanaian Publishers Association.
The president of IPA's visit to Ghana is very important. The African Publishers Network office is in Accra, Ghana. Yeah, so it's important for the IPA president to visit so that we can also use it as an opportunity to discuss issues around publishing in Africa, and also to deepen how best IPA can collaborate with African Publishers Network to execute most of the projects in the interest of African publishers. So her coming to Ghana is very, very welcoming and beneficial. I think this visit by the IPA president is very important, and is one of the reasons to discuss how best APNET and IPA can execute some trainings for African publishers. So I think a few minutes ago we have discussed some of the things we are going to do to help train some African publishers, and also the publishers associations across Africa. So the MOU signed between the two bodies, APNET and IPA, is very great, and the two organizations are going to use it as an opportunity to train more African publishers and to execute some of the challenges confronting publishing in Africa. IPA can support APNET and African publishers by way of capacity building. I think the MOU signed with IPA essentially was to train more African publishers. So one of the things IPA can do for African publishers is training. Another thing is advocacy. Advocacy for some of the African publishers to have their governments listening to them, to have favorable policies, to put away some of the hindrances that do not allow publishing in Africa to grow. And lastly, in terms of trade promotion, IPA can also help APNET and other African publishers to see how best books published in a particular country in Africa is distributed beyond the country. And that is why e-books are also very important. And I think the training will also cover e-books, so that publishers in Africa will no more rely on the physical books, but rather e-books will complement whatever they are having from physical books.
It's given us a lot of challenges. It's not been easy at all for publishers, as schools had to go on recess. The government closed down schools from March. And given that most of our business for most publishers are textbook development and sales, it meant no business for the rest of the year till schools resume in the early part of this year. And to be honest, not much had been done. The closest we came to any support was when the National Board for Small-Scale Industries was to give out some soft loans to enable businesses keep their heads above water. We have not benefited in any way. I think I have to be honest. We haven't benefited much. We've been left on our own, and we have had to survive through other means to keep our businesses running. No help has come from the government. No help. It is one association that we have benefited immensely, given that we get to have support from them when we were having challenges with copyright issues that were coming from the Ministry of Education. A team was able to have a Zoom meeting with us to tell us what had happened in Georgia and other places, and advised us on how to negotiate or interact with the government on the issues of copyrights they wanted to buy for the new books we had developed. And I think it went very well, and we are seeing progress with the interaction. It is very important that she's been here today to interact with us. It's given I personally a lot of confidence in the job I do, because she's female, and sometimes, like we have all known, females, our voices are drowned in businesses that are more men-oriented. Also, she's also brought us information that would enable us interact more, new developments, what we can do, how they can support us, and given that most of it can be done whilst we are here and we don't have to travel to access all that support, I believe it's the beginning of something very, very interesting. And we will take all the advantage we can of the situation.
We are very grateful for the visit of the President of IPA to Ghana. It's very historic, I've been in publishing for quite a number of years now in Ghana, and this is the first time we are having the president of IPA visiting the country. And even though she didn't have much time in Ghana, she has taken the trouble to meet the industry players in the country, and I think that is very good. That is very sweet of her. We very much appreciate it. That is also a very interesting exercise, at the APIF program. There are so many people who sent in applications, for various things they want to do. Even though the committee could approve a limited number of applications, a lot of them, we could see that they are doing their best, to develop the industry, the publishing industry on the continent of Africa. And we are very grateful to Dubai Care and IPA for establishing this program and this fund to assist people to get into publishing on the continent and do it well. I've just come from a discussion with one of the people involved in the program, and she's doing wonderfully well, and the president is very, happy with her. So I think it's a very interesting program. It's very useful, and I think IPA is doing a wonderful job in Africa. It was a bit difficult, but also interesting in the sense that there were applicants who were doing very well, who had very good basis for what they were doing, and they were handling a lot of money. They would say we got so $200,000 from this place and that. But if, looking at that, we could also see that there were others who were also, they were asking for small amounts, but they had very good projects, So in the end, we felt that, some of the applicants, could be assisted, even though they were not the flamboyant, kind. They were very essential, like applicants who wanted to establish a library in a community so that people could have somewhere to go and get reading materials or entertain themselves, looking at films and stuff like that. I would say that even though we had a lot of applicants, over 300 or so, we did a lot to sift them and take out only 5. And the 5 projects we took, we believe will make a lot of difference in the lives of the communities for whom those projects are meant. And also, the budgets of those projects are very reasonable, and they will serve the purpose for which they were, selected. Well, I would say that African publishers have not been very active members of IPA in the past, but in recent times they have risen up, and IPA has also shown interest in them. And we believe that this new development that has come up between African publishers and the IPA would continue and grow to be stronger and stronger, so that a time will come when African publishers would also be a very useful, and they would also be able to contribute their quota to the success of IPA.
So last year we were very proud at our business called Literary to receive funding from the APIF and Dubai Cares to launch our project training African authors through workshops and securing international publishing deals for their work. I think the IPIF is a game-changing initiative that has come in to almost breathe new life into publishing across Africa. When funds come in a way like this that are asking people to think of new projects, think about different ways of doing things, I think creativity that would otherwise be held back is unleashed. So in our case, Akoss Literary was an idea and an initiative that we wanted to start, but funding from IPF helped us to leap and in 1 year prove our business model, sign publishing deals for our books, and we think that work like ours, work like the other organizations and businesses that have been supported really can catalyze new energy, become new examples of what's possible in publishing. So this fund, I think, has changed the game, and I think will continue to change the game. So the pandemic obviously was a big, almost like unexpected occurrence in the life of all the organizations and businesses that were supported through IPF. On our side, we managed to pivot our workshops online. We managed to pivot our pitches to publishers, our conversations with agents, all of them online. So in some ways, we almost benefited from the pandemic because we were able to not be as distracted. We were able to just keep things moving, keep things going, and we are very proud to have hit all of the targets that we set within this project. We have signed almost a historic publishing deal with Norton Young Readers to have 6 writers from across Africa who are creating stories for young readers be published by Norton and also possibly be published elsewhere around the world. So the pandemic, in spite of it, we were able to do this. So we think we managed it and have taken advantage of what it brought. If I had any advice at all to give the IPIF, I would say to keep going for as long as possible. I would say to take a chance on projects that are thinking a little bit outside of the box, because when those projects do well, they become examples of what's possible beyond our current thinking, beyond the status quo, and then they expand how African publishing can grow. And I'm proud of the leadership behind APIF for instituting this. I'm proud to have been able to receive some of the support and for us to have been able to deliver impact with that support. And I just hope and pray the support can go on for as long as possible so that other organizations are able to benefit.